Hey guys, it's Chase here on Gemmy Master Animatronics, and today what I have for you is the Gemmy 12-foot long Halloween inflatable light show Archway. This is the crime scene model, and this is an item that I got off of eBay recently. I actually got this like 3 days ago, and I paid a price I'm not really proud of, but I got a very good working inflatable in return. So it definitely worked out. I did pay a little bit more than I wanted to for this thing, or any inflatable for that matter, but as the years go by, I mean even days, these things are becoming even harder to find, and there's going to be a point where it's not even just hard to find, you're going to find them in horrible shape as well. However, this one seems to be in good shape. I did see, you know, some signs of wear on it, but overall it seems to be basically perfect. I wouldn't be surprised if this was used one season and that was it. As you can see, it was sold at a garden center. This is not one that was bought off of Spirit. This one was at the garden center. I tried to look up that garden center and I couldn't find anything on it. It might not exist anymore, but it has 2022 on it, which would, I mean, unless it went out of business last year, it wouldn't really make sense for it not to still be in business, but I looked it up and I could not find anything on it. This was sold in 2 different places. If I'm not mistaken, this was sold on Spirit Halloween's website, and it was also sold in some select garden centers, but I don't believe this item itself was shipped to garden centers. I think that they were just bought off of Spirit's website and then resold at garden centers, which, if you guys know Spirit's, their pricing, you would know that the price for this at a garden center was probably absurd, given that this thing by itself was probably $200 from Spirit, and so I can't even imagine what it was resold for. But as you can see, it's got the original box. I don't remember how much this was sold in stores for on Spirit, but I can only imagine it was over like $200. This is one of 3 inflatable archways that play this audio and just have the light show effect. They were all 2008. I know that there is a haunted house that plays this soundtrack as well, and that one might have been 2008 as well. But it's not really an archway, it's more of a haunted house. As you can see, it's got its original stakes and tethers still sealed brand new. So, I mean, this thing might not even have been used. I don't know. It's got its instructions as well. And it did not come with its original bag. I gave it one. I didn't really have to. I just, you know, I wanted to. Because it was in such good shape that it would be absurd not to give it a bag. We'll go ahead and get it out of the box. And I will go ahead and get this set up. Alrighty guys, as you can see, I've got it laid out, and already you can see that it's taking up a good portion of the deck, and it's not even inflated yet. This thing is very big. I first had it inflated in my room, and it would not inflate in there. It was too compact. So this is the first time I'm actually seeing it outside, and it's true size. I have seen one of these before, but I have not seen mine outside. So let's go ahead and get it inflated. And it should inflate pretty fast, from what I remember. I inflated it like 2 days ago, so I don't know why I wouldn't. Already very loud. I'm probably going to turn that down mid-video. Hopefully I did not open any zippers. I don't think I did, but I don't remember. Sometimes the fan gets stuck underneath the fabric. Yeah, you can hear it right there, it got stuck. To get stuck underneath, gonna have to pull it up. I'll have to adjust that a little bit later, but alright, here it is fully inflated. As you can see, it is absolutely ginormous. Very, very big size. It looks great. fantastic size. You could use this as an archway, but I don't know of any pathway that's this large, so you might even use it as like a scenery type. I'm actually going to spread this out a little bit more because it can go a little bit farther. You'll find yourself adjusting this a lot, likely. But yeah, here it is. You can see the colors are fantastic on it. I mean, I know they are. I've seen it inside. I know the sun isn't really shining, so you can't really see the true colors of it, but you just take my word, they're pretty good. So as you can see, there's a lot to go over, so I will kind of do it little bit by little. First things first, we could go over the silhouette. For whatever reason, mine likes to separate. Maybe it's sewn incorrectly. If I push the archway more this way, it should connect, but then you're kind of getting some creasing at the top, which is not what you want. So this is gonna be how it is. It doesn't really bother me. I mean, either way, it's not really gonna be connected because when it's outside in the display, it's gonna be constantly wanting to blow away, it's gonna blow backwards, and so it's not really gonna make a difference whether it's connected or not, because more often than not, it's gonna be blowing backwards, so you won't even see it connected. This is one of the only archways that Gemmy did that has this type of silhouette, but not even just the picture. This is, I think, the only one that actually has all this fabric that hangs down. You'll have some archways that has a lot of streamers that come down, which I think looks really good, but I think this one, it fits very well. Although I do love the streamers that comes down and how great it looks blowing in the wind, I think that the silhouette fits this one. It has to be there. I think it would still look good if it wasn't there, but at the same time, I'm very happy that they went with the silhouette on this. From what you can see a lot of blinking lights on it. Again, it's not really nighttime yet, but it's also midday, so the sun's not shining, but you should be able to see a lot of the lights blinking, and two of them I will have to get up close to show you is these, the red and blue lights right here. It's supposed to simulate police lights, and I think it does a good job of that. At night, if you're not looking at the lights, you can kind of see the shadow of or not really the shadow, but the shine of the police lights in the window, which it does look good. But it has to be very dark for that because the red and blue lights, especially the blue, they're not very bright. Actually, I would say the red's decently bright, but the blue is not at all. So it has to be pretty dark for you to see both of them. And I don't think that if they burnt out, it would make a difference if you replaced them with, I mean, it would, but it wouldn't be a big deal if you replaced them with regular blinking C7s, because it was a cool concept to do that, but it's not very much needed. And the box is kind of blocking this one from going out. You can have this a few ways. You can have the archway itself going, like the side of panels like this, going completely straight. I can try and do that, but it doesn't have much, not really stability, but it loses, I guess, balance, because then you can see the front starts leaning a bit forward. So you want to have these spread out a little bit, even though you can do it both ways. And you don't have to rely on the inflation to keep it that way. They have stakes and they have tethers. Because if we go down here, you can see it's got a tether right here, and then a tether on that side as well. And that might be it for these sides. I don't think it has one, or it might. Oh no, it does. It's got two on each side, but I think when you go down there, it doesn't have any. I could be wrong. Okay, it does. But that one would not, because the fan's right there and you can just stick the fan down. So it's got a lot of tether points on it, and if you see on the prototype here, it actually had tether points on the front, which wouldn't really make sense because you'd be tying it down in the front right here where kids would be walking and adults. So they would trip over it likely. So you do have a tether right here, and they got rid of the one on the back right there. So there's no longer two, there's just one, but I think, you know, if you tie it down good enough, it won't really make a difference. It could stand to have a few more tethers on it. Like, is there one on the side? Oh no, there is one on the side. Okay, so I guess it's all right, the amount of tethers they gave it. But there are some little things that you could change about this. One of the biggest things that really bugs me is how loosely over here the crime scene tape is. If it was just sewn a little bit tighter, it'd be right up against there, and that's not due to the inflation or anything, guys. You can see, like, this thing, it inflates very good. These do kind of wobble a little bit, but I mean, like, the archway itself, You can see it's not like super tight because of how big it is, but it is a very good inflation. Yeah, it's pretty good. Like, I wouldn't say this thing wants to explode, but you're not going to have any problems with this outside due to inflation. It gets up, it does its purpose, so there shouldn't be any issues with it. As you can see, there's a bloody hand on the window right here, which looks super cool. And what I like about it is the actual screen printing, I believe, was on the inside, so that won't chip off or anything. I mean, unless you're putting your hand up inside the inside, it shouldn't chip off, which I'm kind of eating my words right now because you can see there is a little bit of chipping right there, but again, that's on the inside, so if I scrape it like that, it's not going to do anything. So, I mean, even though I don't think kids would be going up and rubbing their hands on it, it still won't make a difference because it's on the inside, so unless they're reaching their hands up in the inside somehow, then that should be fine. And on this side as well, the crime scene tape is pulled very softly. It's not taut at all, like the bottom right there and the top up there. But I think the reasoning is because if you see on the I hate to keep showing the prototype on here, but the windows are a lot more stuck out. I mean, this one especially, that one's very much out. And so that would have been pushing the actual tape itself more. Whereas, up here it's not. And as you can see, that's the only two places where it's very droopy. So I do believe that that's the reason. But there's no way you could get it puffed out like that because over time, the clear plastic, it gets a lot stiffer, so it's not going to want to push out. And even if it could, I don't think even if it wasn't stiff, I don't think it could because there's just not enough to do that. So that's just little things that could be done better about this. But overall, this is a fantastic Archway, fantastic inflatable. I absolutely love this thing. There's so much to say about this thing and not enough time. But I will go over some other small things before ending the review. As you can see, as far as ground detail, because there's detail all over this thing. Like, I mean, from the screen printed bricks on here to the silhouette, the crimes, I mean, everything on this is just so incredibly detailed. But as far as ground detail, you can see you have outlined blood splatters on here, and again, I'm seeing some chipping right here, which is not a big deal. I mean, it happens. You can't really do anything about that. I mean, even just sitting in the box can make it chip because of how scrunched it is. So, again, I'm not going to worry about that. So you've got your outline blood right here, and then an outline body, which compared into proportion of the silhouette right here is very small. But I see what they were trying to do, and I think it still looks good. I mean, even if you can't tell what it is, it's got some squiggly lines around it, so there's detail on the ground, which it looks good. I mean, even if you can't tell it's a body, I think it still needs to be there because otherwise you just have this blank and you wouldn't want to copy what you're doing on this side. But I also can appreciate how each cone is on different sides. So you've got one cone right there and one cone right here. And I mean, they both have blinking lights in them. And this one I still have to fix. It's not even caught. The fact is the light strands are not done correctly in this or any of them. And I've been told it's basically like a maze in there. Like, you can't really fix it. But I think if I shorten it, the light's not even going to be in there anymore. I'll take a look at it later and try to fix it. But that one doesn't seem to have that issue, so that's good. And I will show the back of this. You can see it's got some stains right here. This is from being brand new for a while, and this is how I know it's been brand new for a while. You've got these stains right here, which you'll only find on brand new inflatables because it's just been pushed up against the screen printing or the black fabric for so long. So you've got a lot of this bleeding right here, and there is a little bit also on the clear plastic. It's kind of hard to see because it's in the day right now, but there is very small bleeding right there. You can kind of see it. I mean, yeah, a lot more right here as well. So you can slightly see it, and you can probably clean that off. I'm not going to worry about it. It's not bad, and I think I've said this in some other videos. I like it like that. I like that it has that bleeding because it just shows that this has been brand new for such a long time, and it just kind of adds to it, as weird as that sounds. But something I haven't done yet, which I don't know why I haven't, we're going to go ahead and walk through the entire thing. I go up to about right here, so I definitely have to duck down. I would have appreciated if they had made it taller, like all the other archways I did, but it's not a big deal. I mean, you can get under it fine. On the back of it, there's not, you know, any detail at all. It's just black, which it doesn't need any detail. I mean, it's not really missing anything. I mean, I guess it would be cool if there was like something on the back, but I don't know what you would have back here. Like, there's not really much to add in the first place. And of course, on the sides, you know, you still got the detail back here. This is something that you absolutely would not see nowadays. Detailing on the back side where the screen printing is also on the back here. You would not find that nowadays, and that's one of the many things I love about this, or any older inflatable. You have the detailing on both sides. I mean, of course you don't have it right here because it's just black on the back, but right here you do have the detailing on the back, which it looks great. And I think it would have definitely been missing out if there was just a blank gray canvas back here. Honestly, I think I've said what I need to say. I guess I could show the Soundbox, which I'm sure all of you know what it looks like, but in case you don't, here it is right here. You unzip it and take it out. I'll turn it down. So it's just a standard Soundbox. It's, you know, the classic 08 one. They only did this design in 2000, and they only started doing this design in 2008, and they used it, I think, up until like 2013. I could be wrong about that, but this was used many years. But this is definitely the kind of box that you want because this one is pretty water resistant. I have had some issues with these where water's gotten in, but overall it seems to withstand the water pretty well. You've got your volume control, and it also has right here, it's got a try-me button, or sorry, a try-me jack where you can put a try-me button in, which that doesn't really work. If you have it plugged in and you push the button, it just resets the soundtrack. The soundtrack's not off when you have something plugged into there. It literally just plays and plays and plays, and then you push the button and it just resets it, which makes no sense. So I don't know why it was done like that. I'll put the audio on again. I don't know why it was done like that. Maybe it was just a mistake, but it's basically, I mean, unless you want to hear what it sounds like reset without having to wait for all the soundtracks to go by, then I mean, it's kind of pointless to have it. Yeah, but yeah, I think that's about it. This is the Gemmy 2008 Crime Scene. Such a cool inflatable. I mean, if you can find it, I recommend it. Hopefully you'll find one that appears to be in better shape. Again, mine it's great, but the fabric itself is very soft. Like, you're not getting a crunch there. That's not a bad thing. This thing isn't like wearing or anything, but I would prefer it to be super crunchy, so it might last years and years to come, where if I use this outside, likely it'll just get softer and softer, and then we'll start to see some spots on it. So when I said in the beginning of the video I saw some like wear to it, this is what I was talking about. It's very soft. Again, there's no issues with it, but it is very soft. I mean, it still inflates great, but the fabric itself is very soft. So hopefully if you do find one, it's in better shape than this. But there's no thin spots. It looks great and inflates 100%, and I couldn't be happier with this. And I'll show you why. I'll show you why the fabric is soft. Yeah, it was stored in the attic. So that's not good. But it only looks like it was stored in there for, you know, maybe a year or so. The attic didn't really do anything to it. I mean, too drastically, but you know, the attic is not a place for an inflatable because it can destroy it. So, but yeah, really hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys again next time.